What's up, guys? Hope you're doing good. It's been a little bit since I've done a video, quite a little bit. But as I've been living life, things have been coming up, certain situations um, um, that basically bring up topics that I write down that I actually want to talk about. And again, just to reinforce the purpose of these videos, I think it's important that when you learn things and you learn lessons and you have experiences, that you teach certain things. In teaching, not only do you kind of take everything in, you learn as you try to explain things, but also it's important that you give off the information that you learn in life. Like if you go through a full life and you don't learn anything, or you do learn things and you just kind of let them fall through the cracks, you never talk about anything with people, you don't make videos like these, that you don't pass off your life's lessons, the things that you can leave behind. When you die, you leave everything behind. And the most important thing to leave behind, or one of the most important things to leave behind, are the lessons that you learned for strangers and friends and family, or potentially, your own children. And so, I'm a very, very inquisitive person, and I'm very attentive to what's going on, what things mean. I try to learn from things. And one of the most recent lessons that I've learned, something that's been, I guess, obvious throughout my life, but more obvious now. Some things have been kind of confirmed that I've already known, but this is something very, very important to understand. This is something that I've come to understand. I accept it, and I don't try to change it anymore. And so it's changed the way that I approach things, my perception of things, in a way that's super important. I want to continue doing that, and so I want to impart this particular lesson that I've learned, right? And this lesson is, it's basically the idea of the impermanence of things. And it is one thing that you get from this video is this. It's that everything, and I mean everything, is temporary. And when you hear that, you may already know this. It might not seem like a big deal, might not seem like something that significant. But when you realize that everything is temporary, and you look back at your life to see the proof of that, and you accept that, and you believe it to be true, then you could integrate that into your life, the way you view things, your beliefs, your approaches, your perspective on life, and how you communicate with people, the things that you spend your time on, where you invest your energy and your resources, how things affect you or how they don't affect you. And so one of the things to keep in mind as you interact with people, interact with the world, as you try to accomplish goals, as you try to move forward in your life, anything you try to do, it's always important to come from a place that everything is temporary. If ultimately your entire life is temporary, you know you're going to die. We all know that we're going to die. If you know this, and this is a fact, right? If your life is temporary, then it only goes, it's common sense that everything within your life is also temporary. And so we try to find the permanence of things, or in things, right? We try to have the stability that we want long term, or we try to lock down certain relationships. We invest a lot in certain areas because we want things to stay the same a certain way for a long time. And so what ends up happening is when you seek permanence in everything, then life is going to show you that it's the wrong way to approach things, and you're going to be more invested, more involved in certain things than you probably should. And so that becomes dangerous because you spend your resources and your emotions in the wrong areas, or in the right areas maybe for too long, or you believe things too intensely, or you are too emotionally involved in certain things too intensely, and that throws you off when life shifts and shows shows the other side of the card, then you're left wondering what happened, right? And that impacts you hard. That affects your beliefs. That affects your emotions, your health. And so, the ultimate thing that I've learned is to understand that everything is temporary. The job you have, your life, your health, your finances, the relationships you have with friends and family, the relationships you have with a significant other, all of it is temporary. And when you understand that, you can properly place your resources and your emotions and your beliefs and your essence in the right areas and with the proper levels of intensity and for the right amount of time, right? And so this is a topic that I wanted to have or wanted to make a video on for several weeks now. But something else has happened in my personal life that has caused me to want to make the video now, that has reconfirmed the message that I'm telling you. And so I thought now would be a great time to do this. And the point of these videos is to impart the things that I've learned for whoever wants to learn them. Because these are things that I've not learned one time, I've learned them over and over. And so it's changed what I believe, how I approach things, my perspective on life. And I know my life will be better because of it. And so something so crucial to me that I think I should impart it to people that want to hear it, that could benefit from it, right? And so I want to leave all the lessons behind that I learned as I go through life. And I'm okay with sharing some things that may be personal or not, because I'm now much more detached from what I would consider personal or what other people would consider personal, right? And so without getting into too much detail, in a span of 3, 4, 5 months, I've watched something beautiful blossom, and I've also watched it crash and burn. And I've watched it from the beginning to the end, and I've watched it in phases. And while I knew it was temporary up front, the idea of how temporary or impermanent it is kind of got reintroduced in a certain phase in the middle of things, right? And so it made it more apparent that I was right in the way that I was approaching things and how things are going, right? And so I happen to have somewhat of a relationship with someone, right? And it allowed me to believe and approach things in a healthy way, in a responsible way, in a mature way, and to, if I can give you anything else in this video outside of what I've already mentioned, it's this. All you can do at the end of the day, any day of your life, the best thing you can do, the most ideal situation, anything that's going on in your entire life, good or bad, is that you can take the most out of the situation. All you can do is take it in. That's all you can do. If you're having a wedding, right, and you're getting married, all you can do in that moment, all that preparation, your friends and family made sacrifices, so much money went into everything, all the planning, you've maybe been with that significant person for years, right? And all you can do in that one day, all that came up to that one moment, right, when you're getting married, all you can do is take it all in. That's all you can ever do. There's nothing else that's more important. It's to take in every single moment, because that is what life is about, right? And that's where the awareness comes in. That's why I want to make this video. Life can go by day after day after day. You can fall into these ruts and be distracted and focus on things, and days and days and days will go by, and you didn't actually stop to take anything in. And why this message is so important, why it's so important that you understand that everything is impermanent, it's temporary, is because it allows you then to get into a situation and understand fundamentally that this isn't going to last. And so I'm going to go into this with 2 feet. I'm going to step into it knowing that it's not going to last, and I'm going to take everything in that I possibly can, because that's all I can do. That's all you can ever do. Take it all in. Take in everything you can through all your senses. Stop for a moment, picture everything, listen to what's going on in your surroundings, watch everything. Try not to be distracted by what's going on or focus on one thing. Take it all in, remember what's going on, and hold that because it's temporary. It's not going to last. And when you know that something's not going to last, not only can you appreciate it more, you have better memories, better relationships because you know this is not going to last. You could have great relationships with people at your job, right? Great relationships. People that you would hang out with all the time after work. But you know that either you or some of your coworkers are going to start leaving and things are not going to be the same. Or you might have a great relationship with your significant other now and you know that this is not permanent. You know that a week from now, something could happen where one of you passes away or one of you has to move or you guys just don't see eye to eye anymore, some argument causes, someone cheats, and instantly something could change. And you thought that in that situation that everything was going to be the same, so you didn't take it as much as you should have, right? But not only that, the simple fundamental idea of knowing that something is not going to last, almost, if I had to theorize, I would say that it would almost influence something kind of lasting longer, right? Let's say if you're in a relationship and you both understand that, two parties understand that in a relationship, they appreciate each other more, which means that those things that you're looking for in a relationship are there now that maybe would have not been there otherwise. And so you're closer than you would have been, right? And maybe that in essence is what causes the relationship to last as long as it does, because you both went into it realizing, let's appreciate each other, let's take this all in, let's enjoy each other, that's all we can do, and let's try to make this last as long as possible. And that might actually be what makes the relationship last or work, right? And so the idea of things being impermanent is critical because life is teaching you all the lessons every single day. And so it takes you to have open eyes and a level of awareness to see what's going on around you, to go through life understanding the patterns and seeing what's going on, right? And so I realized this when I was talking to this person in the beginning and things were going really well. I knew. I sat in a chair and I knew this isn't going to last. This is going really well, but I know this is not going to last. And not to be pessimistic, not that I was necessarily expecting or hoping that something would go wrong. I just knew that it would. Something was going to change because it's all temporary. And so I tried to take it all in while it was good because I knew something was going to start changing the direction of where things were going as we continued to learn each other and learn about each other and figure things out about each other and see if we were compatible or not. And so it's critical. It's so critical because it's almost foolish and irresponsible to be so unaware to believe that everything will stay the same. It's almost foolish and irresponsible, right? Because when you think that, everything that's going good is going to be good forever, you take it lightly, right? You don't stop to think about what you have. You don't appreciate things or don't appreciate things as much, or you're just so busy with everything else because you think that at a future point something's going to change and you lose things, right? Our health is temporary, our finances, our entire lives, all of our relationships are temporary. And so again, it does two things. It allows you to appreciate more, which then again potentially influences things actually working out or working out for a longer period of time. But it also allows you to go into a situation responsibly and, in a mature fashion to understand that things are not going to always be this way. And, life is a roller coaster and it throws you curveballs and things are up and down all the time. And we try to make things as stable, as possible. And that's all you can try to do. But mostly, fundamentally, ultimately, all you can ever do in any situation is take it all in. And so when you think that things are going to last forever, you don't take it all in because you don't actually stop. And I have this thing that I do that I call stopping time. Stopping time. And that's when I will be in a situation, things are good, But then I pause. I pause and I take a couple seconds just to take it all in. Who's around? What am I hearing? What am I seeing? I'm looking for detail. There's so many things that happen so fast in moments that you don't even pick everything up. And then when it passes by, you're like, man, I had a good time. But you don't even remember the details. You don't remember what song was playing or who was here or what that person was doing. Or you don't pick up things in your environment. And it's just a half-gone memory because you didn't take it all in. And so that's what our senses are for, to take it all in. But it takes awareness to utilize your senses, at full capacity to do everything that you possibly can in that moment. But it's something that I've learned recently, and it's been reconfirmed several times in my life, but also very recently. And sometimes you just have to sit back and kind of marvel at things, right? And the way things kind of pan out. We've all been in relationships that we thought were going to last forever. This happens all the time. It's going to continue happening. And so, all you could ever do is take it all in. Go into a situation with 2 feet fully committed and know what you're getting yourself into. And so, that's so critical for you to be able to take in life. And then when things don't pan out or things don't last, you're not blindsided. You knew this was coming. Eventually it's going to come because no one escapes it. And so the only thing you could have done when you're at that point in time when things are no longer what you thought it was always going to be, you may feel regret. And you're going to feel that naturally, of course. But the only thing you could have done to offset that is to say, you know what? I knew this was coming. I took it all in. I tried to make this happen or this last or whatnot. I try to influence it. But I know that I only have a certain level of control. And so when it happens, you say, I did everything that I could do. And feel good about that. Because, as much as we try to, as a species, as humans, think that we know everything or we are all empowered and we are the smartest, most intelligent race on the universe, and that we have control of everything and we can manipulate nature and we have all the money and we can get everything that we want, and that's a level of control no human will ever have. We cannot outlast time. We can't. And so when you realize the impermanence of things, you then can focus on the right areas in your life, focus on things that actually matter, take things in, and have the proper perspective, right? When you think that things are going to last a long time, you miss everything. You miss everything and you focus on the wrong areas. And when things don't last, you're just like blown away and super affected by things because you're so emotionally attached. And it's weird. You want to have more control over certain situations, kind of manipulate things and influence things to be how you want and to stay a long time. But it's almost fascinating when you have this perspective and this level of awareness and you understand this concept and you go into something and you watch it from beginning to end. And now you watch the phases. Oh, this was like this for this amount of time. And you instantly notice when something changes and the direction changes. And now you start watching how things are coming from that perspective, what's going on from that point on. And then you instantly catch another change. And you can watch the phases as you're shifting, right? In a relationship, you're flirting, everything's fun, it's great, there's a lot of intimacy, and there's going to come a point in time where something's going to shift. You're going to be comfortable enough for something to change. Boom, something changes. And then from that point on, it's just change after change after change, right? I used to be in a relationship where I was searching for permanence, right? Things were really good in the beginning, and so I wanted to keep it that. I was trying to convince myself that because something was great in the beginning, that it could go back to that. But when things start changing, what can you do? You have a certain level of influence over it, but not total control. And what do you do at that point? If you don't know anything and you don't even understand this concept, it's going to affect you. Or you might stay in a relationship for maybe too long that you shouldn't have because you were trying to hold on to something that isn't there anymore. And it sucks to say because everyone wants a long-lasting relationship. But even if it's long-lasting, it doesn't last forever. And so even that person has to understand the concept and adapt. It's the most aware, responsible, mature thing. And life is going to teach you the lessons over and over again until you learn them. Even if you don't learn them, the lesson is there. That's why the same things keep happening. And so I'm always very intrigued, and I watch what's going on in my own life, how I'm reacting to things, and how am I influencing things? Where can I be better? But there's certain things that are outside of your control. And so seeking permanence in things that are outside of your control is dangerous. It's a pretty cool concept. It kind of changes the way that you do things, right? It's impacted the way that I approach certain things, right? Because we can fall into certain defaults in our behaviors because we think things are gonna get better in the future, or things are gonna change, or things are gonna be the same way forever, and so we just miss out on life, right? The most important thing to focus on is what's important in life, and without the proper awareness and perspective, you can't do that. You just can't. You focus on all the wrong things and you're constantly distracted. And it's so cool because then you can go into new situations and appreciate things for what they are, and you know the fundamental reality of what this is, right? You meet someone new. You meet random strangers that end up being really cool, and you might not ever talk to them again. And you know this. And so you have a blast. Like you're more vulnerable. You can create situations that you normally wouldn't have created because you think that the opportunity will come later, right? But I think it's the only way to really live life to the fullest. That's a saying, but there's nothing practical to that. Live life to the fullest. That means nothing. There's nothing to do with that. But when you understand the concept behind it, then that makes sense. So it's the only way to live life to the fullest. To understand that nothing is permanent. Nothing. So let me enjoy, let me create, let me live, let me take in, let me soak everything up. Because I know this is not going to last, right? Vacations don't last. Relationships don't last. Your health doesn't last. Money doesn't last. Everything's gone eventually. But we get stuck in the pursuit of things or trying to make things stable and secure that we miss everything. And so I hope that helps you. That's something that I've recently very much have integrated, very much have realized. And it's a lesson that life teaches you. And so when you have the eyes to see it, rather than fight it, you say, I see what's going on here, right? Because life is a cycle. Nothing lasts forever. Animals all die. Plants die. Everything is just a cycle, right? It's a cycle of life. And a cycle is just phases. You're going to go through phases in that cycle. And your life is going to be through its phases. And you're never going to be in one phase forever because the cycle continues. And we seem to sometimes believe that our life is linear. But really our life is a circle. Because things are going to start and they're going to end. But I hope you got something out of that. If you have any comments, I'd love to know what they are. Let me know what you think about the video and the message below, whether you're watching this on my website or my YouTube channel. But this is a video that I've wanted to make for quite a while, and things have been on my mind, things have been happening, and so the video kind of made itself. And there's so many more things I can say, but without trying to make the video super long, I think the message was concise. And the best thing I can try to impart from a very personal, a confirmed, real pattern and message and concept in my life is that everything is temporary. Right? When you look at your friends, when you look at your children, when you look at your job, when you look at your car, when you look at your house, you look at your health, you look at your significant other, everything is temporary. And you can only take it all in, and you can choose at what intensity, at what level you want to do that at. But the best thing to do is to take it all in and to understand the concept and not fight it, because you're never going to beat it. You're never going to win that battle, because we don't make the rules. We can only follow them consciously or unconsciously by default. And so I hope you guys got something out of this. I would love to hear your feedback and what you think about it. But I think it's super crucial and a very important message and a very important lesson that I've learned that I want to impart. And so, again, I hope you guys got something out of this. If you're watching this on my YouTube, like and subscribe. And feel free to leave any comments or questions or concerns or anything like that, even if you don't like the video. But hope you guys got something out of this, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.